What's up, y'all? Jamie from Palette here with another video. It's actually been a while since I've posted. Probably right around the time of New Year's was the last time I posted a video, and basically I've been super busy. But I kept playing Pokemon Go, of course, and so this video is going to be about a few things. So the first thing is some of the accomplishments that I had in Season 10. We're now in like an interlude season, which I think is Season 11? Question mark? I don't know. We're going to find out after the season if it's 11 or 12 next. But yeah, in Season 10 we had the possibility of hitting Legend, whereas right now it's just rank 20. And I not only hit Legend in Season 10, but I also climbed the leaderboard. And as you see on the screen here, hit an ELO, that's my all-time high of 3435. So I want to talk a little bit about that, but more importantly, I want to end up talking about my growth as a player, and also show you the team that I used to basically accomplish these achievements, as well as the last few wins that actually led to me to hit Legend in Season 10. So I don't think I kept the recorded losses from those sets, but I kept the wins at least. And so in a nutshell, that's going to be this video. Alright, so let me move on to our next visual here. That is Rise to the Occasion on the screen, and if you look closely, that is my avatar on the screen as well, and that's because Rise made a video about me hitting the all-time high ELO for myself of 3435, and that ended up being just one more point above the ELO that he ended at in the same season. And so it was really cool because and I'll post some links to this stuff in the video description. I'll post a link to this video, and I'll post a link to the video I'm mentioning right now as well, which is another video that's on my YouTube channel from, I believe it was Season 9. I hit Expert for the first time on Rise to the Occasion stream because I had redeemed a coaching session from watching him on Twitch, and he was coaching me, and I was using the team that you see here. I'm going to talk about that team again in this video, but it was really cool to sort of end up go from being coached by him and hit Expert for the first time that season, and then I also continued applying what I learned from him and hit Legend in Season 9 as well. And then to go and hit Legend again in Season 10 with this and end up 1 point above his ELO at that 3435, that was just an amazing journey. And we were talking about that, and he was like, yeah, I would like to feature this in a video. So I'm going to list the link to that video that Rise to the Occasion made on his YouTube channel, as well as the video where he was coaching me, and that is on my YouTube channel. Just moving along to the next visual here. So this is another screenshot from the Rise to the Occasion video, where basically he was at the end of his video, and I probably blanked on this and didn't say this, but basically the video that Rise made shows the 3-2-3-2-4-1, at least the wins from those sets that led me to hit my highest ELO ever. And like I said, sometimes I don't keep the losses, but I showed him the wins. He made that video. He basically shoutcast a lot of the decision making that I did in the battles. And at the end of the video, we saw this, where he looked at my my high scores basically for the past 2 seasons, and after I hit Legend in Season 9, basically I had played around with Spice and stuff like that, and I really didn't believe that I could go further than just hitting Legend. I didn't really see myself as, oh, you know what, I'm Jamie from Palette and I could climb up the leaderboard. And that was just sort of a representation of my identity as a player at that time. But I continued learning since then, and so you'll see, like in Season 9, I ended right above 2500s, I believe, after running some spice and playing around with stuff. And then you'll see this season, or I'm sorry, you'll see in Season 10, I ended up, man, that's like 900 something difference basically there. But yeah, and Rise was talking about this as well, and he was saying that he considered me, at least for Season 10, to be one of the top candidates for, if there was an award for this, it would be the category of Most Improved Player. And so I thought that was really cool. I talked with a few other people that have supported me as well in my journey, and they were basically sending me the same message and saying the same thing. And so that got me thinking. And I decided, you know what? I do want to show this legend set, basically, or these wins that help me to hit Legend. And these will have value to you, I hope, because I think all of our hopes after this interlude season is that Legend and Expert and Veteran and Ace all return, and we can push towards our personal goals. I know my personal goal is going to be to try to get higher than 34, 35 if I can. We'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, what I want to do is share a lot of the lessons I've learned about decision making during the gameplay. So when you're actually battling, the decisions that you're making in the game can help you, of course, to win, but it can also help you to learn as well. And so by recapping the decision making that I've done in a lot of my sets that help me, for example, to hit Legend, or help me to get my highest elo ever, that's where I want to cover those decisions, and I call them not just plays, but Legend plays. And so basically that's what this video is going to be about. And it shouldn't be a secret to you at this point in the video either that basically this is episode 1. If you saw my title screen, and so basically I have more episodes planned. I would really like this to be a series about Legend plays, where I'm able to share a variety of different teams from different metas that I've used throughout this journey, basically, and since then, even in the interlude season. So I can cover those plays that help you to win these matches and navigate these matches, and can potentially help you to, whether it's Legend or whatever rank you want to hit, or whatever elo you want to hit, it could potentially help you. So going on to my next visual here, the team that I've used, that I have really pushed myself to learn matchups with relative to other teams that are out there, has been what I call the Smash team. So basically it's Umbreon, Defense Deoxys, or DD for short, and Shadow Nidoqueen. I got this team concept from Smash King 08, and I'm going to list his links to his socials as well as Rise's links in my video description. But huge shout out to Smash King for this team, and I've seen him help someone else in a previous season with this to hit Legend, and that's what inspired me to try it. And if you've seen my videos about that in past seasons, then you know this is the Smash team. So major shout out to Smash King for this. Okay. And before I hop into some battles, I just want to do sort of a recap here, where basically this was the tweet that I tweeted, I think the day that I hit Legend, and it's not just some support and a shout out to like Smash King for the team. It's also to others like Softove, like Yasser Lead, Rise to the Occasion, and really a very long list, including a lot of the people that I tagged in that tweet, as well as so many other people who have encouraged me and supported me and done practice battles and this and that. Huge thank you to you all, and it's not just that I want to thank them. As a viewer, if you're watching this, I want you to also sort of seek out a support system of other players who are going to help you, and you're possibly helping them as well. It can be mutual. By practicing together, you can each get better and potentially hit higher and higher goals that you set for yourself. So don't be afraid to do that. Alright, so with that said, I'm going to adjust some visuals on my screen here, and I think it's time to hop into some battles. Alright, so for this first one, looked like I was facing a fellow expert, and so now we see that my Umbreon lead goes into their Diggersby lead. And so what I'm thinking when I'm playing this is, gosh, one team I've seen is Diggersby, Cresselia, Frostlass. Another one is Diggersby, Double Charm. And so right off the bat, I'm sitting here playing. You see my decisions on when I'm throwing my foul plays and whatnot, and I'm overcharging in case I try to dip out. And I'm also trying to spam these before I get quaked too many times. But I'm also trying to read this team and kind of pre-plan. You know, I'm not trying to throw my foul plays at a schedule as soon as I get them, because I don't want them to dip out and catch it on a Charmer or something like that. So we see me go for a foul play. We're going to see me charge up to an additional one here. No way this is another EQ. This has got to be a Fire Punch. This is a rank 1 Umbreon that lives this Fire Punch. Oh, and I overtap. Oh. So does that mean game over? No, it doesn't. You see they dipped out. So the reason I went DD here was I figure I'll go ahead and counter down. It's going to be effective on getting that Diggersby low and potentially knocking it out. But then I can also get farm on DD. So even though I overtapped, which is, it's not a legend play, but let's face it, woo! They did not shield that Thunderbolt on that Pelipper. So that's probably going to cost them the match right there. But they do come back in with a Frostlass. So instead of a Cresselia, we saw the Pelipper. But yeah, I mean, overtapping is something that honestly can happen to any player. You can get more skilled at avoiding that. I think back then I was in the push to legend, getting pretty close to it, and so I think the pressure was on and I let it get to me, and that overtap happened. But we're going to see that even if you make a mistake, you can still flip this match. Alright, so once they went down one shield, that's where I thought it would be good to go ahead and get NIDOQUEEN in here. Number one, to keep building. Okay, this is another Fire Punch. I don't need to shield this Fire Punch. It's not going to get me low enough. It is going to get me low. And these Powder Snows from Frostlass, they're going to get me low quick too. But I got extra farm there, which helps me to get the Poison Fang off. And I understand why they dipped out. They really didn't care about getting the Fire Punch off too much. It was more of resetting their debuff from all these fangs. But yeah, we see NIDOQUEEN even with keeping that shield, and I had to keep the shield in case they got to an avalanche. We see NIDOQUEEN take that game home. Alright, so match 2 here. Alright, so we've got Umbreon into Bastiodon. Bastiodon can basically win this matchup. So what I like to do is I like to try to CMP with them on at least their 7th Smackdown. I don't know if they're going to throw at that. They do. But I always try to build to 2. And I throw right at 2, and I try to either CMP or deny and then you see me dip out and go immediately to DD. And that's because Umbreon's not going to win the matchup. Really, I just needed to store a foul play. Excuse me, I just needed to store a foul play. The foul plays would be wasted on Bastiodon, really, when they could apply elsewhere where they might actually be more effective. So you see me no shields. Basically, I just needed to get DD as number one, the prompt for the Bastiodon to potentially leave, but also number two, bait to get out something that Umbreon can beat. And so you saw me wait the clock to an extent here, but I'm also going to start building, and then because it gets the Seed Bomb off, and because the Bastiodon already got some damage off on me, I can't just do a full farm down here. My clock is up, their clock is about to be up when they switch back in, and I go back to Nido, or I swap into Nido. And so now this is a favorable matchup now for me for the NIDOQUEEN to end up being able to poison down the Venusaur is pretty good. And if they're going to burn both shields here, it's going to allow me to more easily earth power what's left of the Bastiodon. They commit 2 shields. They would really need 3 Frenzy Plants here, so they're not going to get to it. So we're looking pretty good here. All I need to do now is just double shield and farm, build, as Mr. Rise of the Occasion told me in the coaching session I did with him. He said, build, where often I was just using NIDOQUEEN to shred, and sort of like Wreck-It Ralph. Alright, so I went for the Fang first, and then the EP, and that's because I knew that the Bastiodon was close to energy dry. Potentially I'd take that game without actually still fanging there. I could have just done the Earth Power and potentially clean that up with what I had left of Umbreon if I had to. Alright, match 3. Horrible lead for me, so Umbreon into Azu, not favorable at all. And so I swap to DD, and what do we bait out? We bait out something that Umbreon can face in a more or less neutral way. And so that is the Drapion. And they don't shield, they know that I'm going to struggle. They're going to reach crunches before I reach enough Thunderbolts to take all their shields. But I do still get to this Psycho Boost, which they shield. And so I think that would get them pretty low, which they probably don't want, because then I could probably still, with self-debuffed counters, counter down in their view, but they didn't necessarily have to shield that. I didn't plan to shield anything. You see here, I go in basically without waiting too much of my clock, because I don't want the Drapion escaping out of this matchup. They ultimately want to keep Drapion in too, so that they can align Azu to my Umbreon. But basically, okay, now we've got them switching out. I knew to insta swap because again, Umbreon and Azu, not a good matchup for me. We're up 2 shields and they have an Umbreon in their backline. So I've now come from being able to stay within their limitation of they don't want to switch out of their Drapion because they don't want to lock in their Azu. I've now gone from that neutral matchup with Umbreon being able to take them down without incurring too much damage to now basically flipping a lot of this game here where I can literally just double shield, build. Look at all this poison energy I've got. Azu did maybe 3 bubbles, so it's not going to be at the move yet. We are going to get this next one off. I'm not actually counting. I was counting when I was playing, but I'm not actually counting as I'm shoutcasting this. And I go and I catch what I think is going to be an Ice Beam. Yeah. And so now, basically, I can take this game in 2 last resorts, And I don't even think that they're going to get past my Umbreon because they really need either... Actually, I could take this in a foul play. So they see the writing on the wall and they can see the match. So much more favorable for Umbreon when they are energy dry and when they are poisoned. And Umbreon has energy lead. Alright, so hopping into the next match, we've got Tropius. Razor Leaf Tropius. So I'm already like, okay, is this some kind of grass hole that is run as like an ABA line rather than a Basti lead? And so that's what I'm questioning. And I'm also thinking to myself, I think Tropius wins this overall matchup even with just the Razor Leaf. So I need to get a lot of damage off here, but I also need to watch out for whatever their next move is going to be. Will they shield at any point? So I charge up there, and this was risky because I may end up dying with this energy. No. Rank 1 Umbreon coming in clutch, surviving the Leaf Blade, and I don't know that I make it. I think I get Razor Leaf down before we make it to the next move. One Snarl away. So now I have to think, number one, who is the energy more valuable on? And number two, who can take a hit if Tropius gets to a move? And so Tropius does not get to a move, and DD counters down. So if they have a Bastiodon, okay, they bring the Basti in. So what do they have, like double steal? What's the reason here for this? What's their backline? Is it like a Shadow Vic and they didn't want Psycho Boost thrown at the Vic? Like, so I decided to go ahead and commit a shield because I'm not really sure why. I know I can basically counter down from here before they get to a move. Okay, we have Metagym. I don't have to throw all of these Psycho. I definitely want to throw one. If I want to chip it down even more, I mean, I do have almost three loaded. I don't have to throw them all. I could dip out with them, but I also know that they're least likely to, I guess, potentially shield a lot of these. They might shield this one. But look at how low we got. I mean, they have 2 shields, and look at how low, yeah. So whatever moveset they're running, they know I have at least 1 shield, and they've decided to give up the game at that point. Alright, so next match, into Shiftry. So I'm thinking fast move damage would be useful here, so I insta-swap to DD. Now they do have Foul Play, which is going to hurt DD, but it's not going to KO. And also, if I really have to, I can shield at a point. Okay, so now we got Shiftry, and we got 1 Ghost here, which makes me wonder, is this Shiftry double Ghost? It might be, and this is not too bad here. At least this Ghost I can do a lot of damage to with Thunderbolt, and then do some more damage with that Psycho Boost. And with Marowak, he's going to be able to just like Fire Spin down, and that's alright. I'm not going to wait the clock out too much, because I know he's loaded, or he or she, or the Marowak is loaded with energy here, and they're going to be running out their clock as they stall the clock by throwing the energy as well. So I just need to go in and commit to the farm down and let them throw. And if it makes them happy that they're able to inflict the damage on Umbreon, so be it. But now I'm loaded with energy, and they come back in with Shiftry. And so I'll go ahead and try to get some damage off. Boom! They take the last resort, and then they don't even get to a move before NIDOQUEEN can snipe. Okay, Frostlass comes in, and so I was right. It is double Ghost, and DD's moveset could have still been useful here, but either way, I'm still going to commit to a 2-shield Queen here, because we might be able to make this match so that they don't even see the Umbreon again. Or worst case scenario, we end up not even really needing to throw a move with the Umbreon. We just sort of like snarl down. So I'm still going to commit. I don't think that I need to I don't think that I need to give up my NIDOQUEEN. They try to go for it. Yeah, I didn't even have to burn my shield. They were really hoping they could farm down and then just, I guess maybe like double avalanche, and that wasn't going to happen. Alright folks, this is the final match I'm going to show, and this is the win that got me legend. So we see the Skarmory, and basically I'm going to build up to 2, but I'm counting up until 7, because that's when they might elect to do a Brave Bird. Okay, they take the damage, and interesting CMP. Usually, yeah, I think that was a desynced one. That was a desynced one. Alright, so we've got Lickitung coming in, and so we know that there was a, I'm going to explain why I go NIDOQUEEN here. Number 1, NIDOQUEEN doesn't have a good matchup with Skarmory. And number 2, I think what's in the back line is a fighter, specifically Scrafty, because one of the popular lines at this point in the season was a Skarmory lead with the Lickitung and the Scrafty in the back. So I've poisoned it, and all I need to do now is just keep farming. This is not enough for them to have reached the Power Whip. Okay, now we're entering a territory in this battle where I can Fang and then Earth Power, and Umbreon already did 1 foul play of damage, so now they're about half. We've taken about half the Skarmory's damage. Okay, now I can EP. It's going to do quite a bit. My clock is up. I can snipe, and there goes Skarmory with all their energy. And that is basically what really just flipped this match for me, because now I can get off a Thunderbolt to get a shield here on the Scrafty, and I was right about reading the line. But now I don't have to shield the first foul play. Why? We already saw in a previous match with Shiftry that it's just not going to KO. So keep hitting, and that backfired for him. He wanted to do a pup bait, so now I do shield, because this now he's just still, if that was foul play, that would have actually really hurt. But now he's addicted to the pup plays here to try to take this match, and I think he realizes the writing on the wall. I've still got all 3 of my Pokemon. I've got double Psycho Boost, and folks, that's the battle that got me to legend in Season 9. Sorry, Season 10. The whole interlude thing is throwing me for a loop. Season 10. I can count moves, but apparently can't count seasons on screen. So I go and I catch this Fortress reward, and yeah, I mean, basically what really flipped that matchup was in this last battle was me realizing that I don't have to sit and wait for Skarmory to just farm me down, and then if it does, it's going to be able to take my last shield by threatening a Brave Bird on something else, and then I wouldn't have a shield to use for the interaction of DD and Scrafty. So all I had to do there was just watch my clock. Woo! 3006 was the elo I came in at for legend. Basically 3-2'd my way, and so we saw, I think that was a few battles here, but basically 3-2'd my way to legend there at the end. And so then now you'll see me change my pose from the past season, from Season 9, the Leon pose, which I still really like. You'll see me upgrade to the new pose, which I've called the treadmill pose before, but I also kind of think it's like the Defense Deoxys pose, for the way that Defense Deoxys kind of moves and walks. So I decide, you know what, DD was a good MVP for me this season, and for I think Season 9, I thought my MVP was definitely Umbreon, and for this past season, Season 10, I think DD was definitely my MVP, and you saw why I started to get better at using it. Even back in the coaching session with Rise to the Occasion, I said, I don't know how to use DD effectively. I know how to use Umbreon, I know how to bang an Earth Power, NIDOQUEEN, and account for the debuffs that I'll need to create a win condition in a match. With DD, I wasn't always sure what hits it could take, when I should boost and when I shouldn't. But I think part of my growth from Season 9 even into Season 10 was I got a lot better with DD specifically, especially with the build mantra that Rise was telling me about using DD, and figuring out when it can have favorable matchups because of the effective damage of counter on an opponent Pokemon. And if that meant, for example, with the Shiftry or with the Scrafty, if that meant that I have to put it in some danger of taking some dark type attacks on it, that's fine. It didn't necessarily mean that I didn't have a win condition there to create in order to win that match and flip the match. And so yeah, this was my second season in a row basically hitting Legend, and both times I hit Legend with the same team, the Smash team. Shout out to Smash King. And I really, like I said before, I really did not think I was the type of player whose name you would see on the leaderboard. And yet here we are, top 220 something at the end of, on the leaderboard, at least at the end of this past season. And I had more sets left, honestly, but I was like, gosh, I got this far, 34, 35. I'm ready to solidify that here as my personal record. And so I'm glad I did, because it definitely solidified my seat on the leaderboard in the last day. And now it gave me a goal for future seasons to try to push to exceed. And so I think in a future season, maybe I'd like to try to get above 3,500 for the first time, if I can. Speaking of goals, no matter what your skill level is, keep in mind, in this interlude season, you can still keep practicing. Even if your team is not Umbreon, DD, NIDOQUEEN, even if you're not doing Open Great League like what these battles were, keep in mind these types of decisions, ways of decision making, trying to read lines, considering fast move damage, considering the charge move damage, considering debuffs, considering the clock, waiting out the clock or not, considering sniping, so that if the opponent intended to farm down and emerge with a bunch of energy, if they're poisoned by a NIDOQUEEN and DD can come in and do 2 counters and it's out of here, consider that type of stuff. Again, not with those specific Pokemon, but with your team, in the matchups that you are navigating as you play your team or teams across different metas. So with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I also kind of hope that you enjoy the background music, which I have set somewhat low so you can hear my voice, but if that music sucks, please tell me. I've been using that for, I think a while now. But yeah, from here, I want to continue to make more Legend Plays videos, and so you expect more episodes. This was episode 1, so expect more episodes from me, and I'll see how frequently I can do it. I do have a work life, I do have a school life. I'm in a graduate program, pretty close to the end of it, and so that's why I didn't post videos for the past 3 months, but I'm definitely excited to take on this this project of doing these Legend Play videos, and I hope that you'll find it as valuable as I do for actually reviewing some of the battles that I've done and sort of shoutcasting it and telling you my decision making. And I hope that again, as you are going through this interlude season, or it's season, whether it's season 11 or not, I hope that you're keeping your goals in mind. You're not just looking for like teams that can help you, but you're also seeking out information or videos or other friends in the game who can tell you about other game mechanics besides just a team, because being able to go from where you are in a season to climb much higher definitely requires applying those legend plays, and requires basically using those other mechanics in order to execute those legend plays. And I'm really hoping that this video series will be valuable to you all. So I look forward to it. With that said, peace out.